three.
Hello, everybody. My name is Bennet Davison. I'm the creator of Euro Hoop Life. It's a website for international basketball players. A little bit about me. I'm going to give you a quick little 3 seconds. I played basketball at the University of Arizona back in '97, '98. Won a national championship. Luckily enough, we also won a Pac-10 championship under Coach Lute Olson. Played with Mike Bibby, Jason Terry, Miles Simon, a couple of those guys. And then my career continued into Europe. I played in every country but the Middle East and Africa. That extended for 12 years, and now I have created a website that helps international basketball players gather information very much like Yelp or an Angie's List. We are here today with a close friend of mine and a very intelligent man, Bruce Starr.
Great to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. Well, obviously we're going to have a little back and forth here. I just want to kind of give the people a little introduction about yourself. Do you mind if I start with that?
Please, go ahead.
Alrighty. Well, a little bit about you, Bruce. You've been in about 38 years of self-study on several different philosophies on life. He is a life leadership and relationship coach and trainer. He began his career in the early 1990s, hosting and producing the radio shows Love Works with Bruce Starr, and television shows on relationships in South Florida and Los Angeles. In 1993, he became the original love coach on AOL, America Online, when he learned about America Online when they only had about 300,000 members. So obviously they're up in the millions now. He opened a room called Relationship Coaching, and over a 10-year period had about 6,000, that's a lot of numbers, 6,000 intimate, detailed, documented conversations with people across the country, really delving into what people needed and what their situations were in life. He took the information, learned from his conversations, and wrote a book, Body Traders, Transforming Back from Player to Lover. This book will eventually help an entire generation of people catch up on game-playing relationships. He is the host of his own show called The Love Coach Show on Blog Talk Radio. And the reason why I invited him here today onto the show is he's doing work with professional athletes. He's helping them. He's listening to them. He's giving them guidance and perspective. I would like to welcome a leadership and relationship coach and trainer, Bruce Starr.
Great. It's wonderful to be here, Bennett, and I really look forward to talking with you about anything that you want to talk about. I'm glad to go with it.
All right. Well, let's dig into it. Well, obviously you have a very extensive, a good 25 years of experience in specializing in what you do. Give me a little background on how you first got started in studying relationships.
It was a long time ago. It was 38 years ago that I started exploring, finding out how relationships work. Quite frankly, mine weren't working, or they weren't working the way I wanted them to work. For instance, the ladies that I really wanted to be with didn't seem to be interested in me, and the ladies that I wasn't all that interested in, I couldn't shake them. I couldn't discourage them. I wondered what that was about. And one thing led to another, and I started studying some really incredible philosophy, wonderful mentors and teachers, and I really started to learn quite a bit, a lot more than I ever knew was possible. And probably about 15 years or so into it, I started guesting on radio shows, and it was so rewarding, it was so terrific, and I was getting such a good response that I decided to try to host my own shows on both radio and television. And I did that, and it kept going from there. And as you already said, I opened up a room on AOL to help other people. But what happened was I was there, and of course I did help a lot of people, but I couldn't believe what I was learning from the thousands of stories that I was hearing. And when I kind of looked around at other books and other speakers to see if this information was already recorded anywhere, I couldn't find anything like it anywhere. So I said, I better write this book. And the book I wrote, Body Traders, it's not a word, it's not in the dictionary, but Body Traders, Transforming Back from Player to Lover. Now let me just say real quickly what a body trader is. And we'll go into more detail a little bit later, but a body trader is basically someone who's changed from pursuing relationships from their heart to thinking about relationships from their head and basically going after the best deal possible.
Hmm.
And it's sort of a sad state, but because so many people are doing it, because almost everybody is doing it, it seems like a natural thing to do, but it isn't. It isn't a natural thing to do to relate to people about how you think about them, not how you feel about them. So people who are thinkers in relationships, they look at the other person and they say, you know, if they have enough sexuality, if they have enough looks, if they have the body parts that I want, I'll offer them what I have. And a woman stereotypically will say, if that man has enough financials, has the right job, drives the right car, lives in the right house, in the right neighborhood, has a boat, I'll offer him what I have. And that's old-fashioned horse trading, what used to be called horse trading, what I call now, humanizing it a bit more, I call body trading. And that's what a vast majority of people are doing right now in their relationship world and in their dating world. And we're going to get to why this is so devastating for so many professional athletes.
I like that. That's a fascinating perspective. Yeah. So, and you know, let's dig into that a little bit more. How did you first get the idea to open a room on AOL?
Well, that's really interesting. I was visiting out in California. I'd already spent 5 years as a talent agent and manager out in Los Angeles from 81 to 86. So I've been in the entertainment industry since 1981. But I left it because it's such a dysfunctional business. And so many people are dysfunctional. I couldn't find a romantic relationship to be in. And I knew that was really important for me. And so when I couldn't get that together, I left. And so years later, I went out to Los Angeles to visit my friend who produced the TV show Love Boat. I don't know if you remember that, Bennet. Okay.
That was right when we first got a television in our house.
Okay. Yeah, all right. So he produced Love Boat, and he said to me, "What are you doing now?" Because he knew I'd left the business. I said, "You know, I'm speaking about relationships and helping people with relationships." He said, "Well, do you know about AOL?" I said, "What's that?" And he turned his computer around and he showed me something that changed my life. And that's when I started having those conversations with people and learning about body trader relationships and how en masse millions and millions of people are now turned from being heartfelt people to body traders and treating each other not very well and thinking about relationships instead of feeling relationships.
Nice. I like it. I'm getting a good grasp of exactly what your mindset is and kind of what the information you have to, give back to people. What was it like being in the beginning of the social world? Because, social media has kind of only been around for 5 to 10 years, but you're sitting here talking about the social world, turning to the internet for your love and your passion. Give us a little background on that one.
You remember what you said just a short while ago is that there was actually either 200,000 people on AOL at the time or 300,000, whatever it was. It was so new that most of them were out in California because nobody else really knew about it.
Yep.
So it was really quite incredible to be like a godfather of relationships because of this work that I did on AOL. It's funny, I don't look like a godfather, but someone did call me the godfather of internet relationships. And you know what? I don't mind claiming that, actually, because it sort of rings true that I was in at the very beginning of people socializing on the internet other than leaving just, messages on boards. I opened up a room, and people would come into this room, and talk to each other real time. And it was really fascinating. And now that I'm thinking about it, it really was something to be right in the beginning of when we started socializing with each other over the internet. So
Yep.
it's making me think, wow, that really was something.
Yes, very much so. Well, and obviously, what things have you taken? Like, what are the most important aspects or the little nuances that you kind of learn from that experience?
Well, it represents the devastating results of relationships. And again, when we were younger and in generations in the past, people related to other people, wanted to be with other people, chose other people because of their feelings for them.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have feelings for you. I think you're really nice. I think you're really sweet. I think you're really cute. I think you're really sexy. I think you're really terrific. I love your warm heart. I think, and I'm saying I think, I actually shouldn't be saying I think you're really sexy. I feel that you're really sexy. So what's happened is we got our hearts broken. Most of us got our hearts broken when we were younger, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 years old. And the experience was so devastating. I mean, it feels awful if you've had your heart broken when you were younger, because when you enter into a relationship when you're younger, you're an open wound, man. You're just open. You're just offering everything to that girl or to that guy. No holds barred, no baggage. You're not carrying around baggage. There's no bad habits that you're bringing. You're just loving that person. You're ready to love that person, and it's just all open. Well, if the parents come along and decide that you're not a doctor yet, you're not a lawyer yet, you're not an accountant yet, and they don't want you with their daughter, or if the relationship breaks up because the other person breaks up with you and breaks your heart, it's so devastating that most people don't ever want to go through that again. And
Sure.
what they do is they start thinking about relationships, thinking about what will work out best for them, rather than saying to themselves, I'm going to risk my heart by finding someone I could really fall in love with. We stopped doing that.
Yeah.
We're now picking and choosing, compromising ourselves, and picking and choosing people who we think might make the best deal. Now, it doesn't sound even so terrible on paper, and even hearing me say this, and this is where my work starts coming in with the professional athletes. And here's why it doesn't work. Okay. Let's say, as a guy, I meet a girl, and I make it really obvious to her that I really want to be with her because I think she's really sexy. I think she looks beautiful. I think she has all the body parts I want in the right places and the right sizes. And she just, when we got together physically, she was just it. Well, Bennett, most people deep inside don't want to be chosen for what's on the outside. They want to be chosen for what's on the inside. Whether anybody wants to admit that or not, we all want to be chosen for who we are, not what we are, and not what we have. So, if a woman is with a guy, chooses a guy because of how much money he has,
Mm-hmm.
and if a guy chooses a woman for her sexuality, this relationship is based on a foundation of fear. Now, why do I say that? Because the girl knows that if a guy picked her because of what she looks like and her sexuality, she has fear that he could change his mind. And a guy knows that if he's chosen because of his finances
Or status.
and status, and if those finances or status change or lower, we went through a horrendous real estate mess in the last bunch of years. If you lose your money, or you're going to worry that that woman chose you because of your finances. So in the back of your mind, you have a fear that she's going to change her mind if she meets someone wealthier, more successful.
True.
And she feels that if he picked her because of her sexuality and her body, what happens if she gains weight? What happens if she gets a little older? Is he going to change his mind again? You see, when you fall in love forever. That person we talked about, that first love, that love stays there forever. Whether you act on it or not, healthy people don't act on it. You don't become a stalker and continue to chase after that person, but that love stays in your heart. When you pick someone with your head, your mind changes, and that creates an incredible amount of insecurity in relationships. And again, we're heading towards why that's becoming such a problem with relationships with professional athletes and the people at their meeting.
Nice. I like that perspective. And, obviously this is what you just said over the last 3 to 5 minutes has been throughout 6,000 interviews, whether it be male, female, or couples. Obviously you have this in your mind working. You have the book Body Traders. What is the purpose? Why did you write this book to be able to help people? And how will it help people?
And when I didn't find anybody else writing about the problems that I saw, I said, I've got to get this word out. This is what I'm hearing about is so prevalent and so out there and so with so many people. I said, I've got to get a book out there, and that's why I wrote it. It actually took me 15 years to write, and it's not with an agent or a publisher yet, and so I'm still looking for the right people who would take notice to a book that's eventually going to help millions of people.
Where can they find it now?
It's at Amazon. They can find it at Amazon and Kindle. It's a Kindle book. You can find it at Amazon. And under Body Traders.
Awesome. Well, obviously I'm an ex-professional athlete, and obviously this touches lots of different people. It's the non-professional female and male to the professional female and male. How do you think this can work and help professional athletes in their day-to-day lives, their relationships, and also their careers?
Well, let's talk about first how it's damaging their lives, because even you said the other day to me that when I asked you about athletes, and you said to me they're coached every step of the way. They're told what to do all the time, right? But
there.
That's right. That's right. The one place that they're not taught about is their private, personal lives.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's talk about somebody like Derek Jeter. Derek Jeter had a professional mother and a professional father, good, solid parents who raised him up to be a terrific kid. And I heard the other day that he didn't move out of his house until he was 26, even though he was a Yankee for years. Okay? Yep. Because his parents told him about how to be a man, told him about relationships, told him about healthy relationships. And there's nobody that's respected in sports, any sport right now, more than Derek Jeter. Yeah. And that's because of the training and coaching he received every step of the way, including his personal life and his dating life as he was getting older and maturing. Well, Can we say that for a lot of other professional athletes?
No, some people aren't as lucky to be able to have two healthy parents professionally at that.
That's right. So I would say a vast majority of professional athletes, they don't have a father around to teach their son, the athletic son, how to do the right thing, how to be responsible, how to be respectful to women. So, okay, I think half the homes don't have a father. Now, in those other halves, the mother, you always hear so many stories about the mother working 2, 3 jobs. Oh my God, my mother worked so hard to put food on the table. But what's the other side of that message? The other side of that message is mom was not around either.
Yeah.
And that kid, where did he learn how to act, how to be, how to date? From his homies, from his friends out in the street,
Yeah.
who were most likely not necessarily great guys.
Or making the right decisions or coming from the right perspective.
Exactly. So here are these athletes. They come out of college. They can't wait to make that money. And what are the first things that they do when they get signed to that contract?
They marry Robin Givens.
Let's talk about that later, okay?
That's a whole other discussion.
But it's right along where I'm going, okay? Because here's what these guys do. And, you tell me, what did the guys do when after the games and the coaches weren't looking anymore? Where did they go? You tell me.
You go to friends, you go to restaurants, you go to, on certain nights after a game. Usually you don't go out on, the nights before practices, but games you would go afterwards on a road trip. You just go out where there's a gathering of people, whether it be a lounge, and some people stay away from it, some people avoid it. And temptation like that is almost like gambling or alcohol or drugs. The opposite sex could also be the same vice that other people have issues of dealing with.
A lot of young, immature guys that have been coached in every aspect of their lives, who have no coaching about personal relationships, they are attracted to those clubs and bars and strip joints like glue. They go right for them.
It becomes a culture. It becomes a necessary thing.
That's right. And that's where their friends go, and that's where they go. Now, there's a big problem there, okay? The guys go for action, activity, to get that sexy babe, okay? Now, the interesting thing that they don't think about is, what kind of girls are they meeting at a club, bar, nightclub, strip joint?
The ones that ride on coattails.
That's right. They're meeting the wrong kinds of girls. They're meeting sharks. They're meeting gold diggers. Now, the guys don't really think about that. They think that if they walk into a bar, they start spending money, and they start acting like a hotshot, the girls are just going to love them up, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's not quite that way. Because, and this is where the big problem starts for professional athletes. The girls are there on a mission. And that mission is to land themselves a
professional athlete.
Because that professional athlete is making a lot of money.
Well, let me ask you this. Well, with all this, obviously with your 6,000 conversations, your 15 years of experience, your book writing, your television show, how do you plan to take all this knowledge, compress it, and be able to give it to the people that are needing it? What is your plan to help them?
I have a plan to be able to start with one professional athlete at a time, like you. Now, you're in a healthy relationship, but you also know other athletes that you're going to be in.
I have bad relationships.
I'm sorry, say that again?
But I've had very bad relationships, unhealthy ones, and it comes down to exactly what you're saying. There are coattail riders.
That's right. Everyone needs a relationship coach. Everyone does, but they just don't think of it, okay? So I've taken it a step farther. Not just a relationship coach, but a relationship trainer. And I want to do this for professional athletes. Because right now, the guys, I'm not going to be able to tell too many guys, look, you're only going to meet sharks at these bars. Let me take that story a little further before we get off it. These guys go to these clubs and bars. They're there till all hours of the night. And those girls are there to land themselves a guy. They are sharks looking for an athlete. And they're not going to be the kinds of girls that are going to be shy, okay? They're going to be the ones that are going to be assertive or really aggressive.
Yep.
And the guys are going to think, man, she really likes me. I think that this is great. And what's going to happen is the girl is going to most likely, if not that night, the next night or the night after, they're going to get together again. They're going to go to one place, and that's her home, his home. They're going to go to one part of that house, and they're going to get to know each other. And I guarantee you this, professional athlete, listen to me and hear me. That person that takes you to bed is going to be an absolute whore in bed.
A monster.
They're going to be. They're gonna twist your head. They're gonna do things to you that has never been done. Yeah. They're gonna tell you they love you. They're gonna tell you you're the greatest thing in the whole world. And your ego mind is gonna go, I like this. Yep. This is my girl. Now, that's the nice part. Now the stories about one after another domestic violent incidents where, because that relationship that I just described has a foundation of mud, it has a foundation of quicksand, it has a foundation of fear, that relationship is going to blow up and explode.
Yep.
And last night I was on a show with a professional hockey player, played in the NHL. He's got a show up in Edmonton. He said to me, why do these guys lose their tempers? I said, let me ask you something. I saw how many penalty minutes you had one year. I said, when someone bangs you into the wall, into the side rail, a little too hard, you turn around and you take his number. What are you going to do? You're going to try to whip his butt within the next 3 or 4 or 5 minutes, aren't you? Yeah. Okay. You're taking a situation now where you're not just getting bumped against and knocked down. You've got a woman who thinks that you're going to be her payday for the rest of her life. And if you change your mind, that woman is going to act out, and you're going to have a battle on your hands. She's going to get you into a fight. She's going to say the worst things to you, and she's going to get at you and get at you and get at you until things progress into a physical battle.
She could even try to get pregnant.
That absolutely happens, and you can tell me how many thousands of times you've heard that happen.
Yeah. So exactly. So obviously there's so many different factors, and it's in the game of sports, your blood is rushing 200. Your heart's beating 200 beats per minute, and you're trained to be able to keep yourself in a calm situation. But outside that court, you've trained day in and day out on those situations, whether it be hockey, football, baseball, basketball. But how do you train yourself on situations like that in the real world situation, especially when alcohol is involved and that type of stuff? Well, let me ask you this. Who would probably be the specialized person that you could use your relationship training?
Other than the one-on-one relationship coaching that I can do and want to do with the players, and they could reach me. Go to my bodytraders.com website. Look at the site. Look around. But I believe that coaches of teams, they would want me to come in and talk to their players and maybe pick out 2 or 3 or 4 players that they know that are possibly headed on the wrong path. Agents should want me to come in and talk to their players because, boy, I tell you, if a player gets himself in trouble in his first or second year and he's not a top-of-the-line player, he's just like one of those real close to hanging on players, he's going to be dropped in a second.
Yep.
He's going to embarrass the city, the team, the coaches, the owner, all the players, all the fans. If he does something stupid, embarrassing, now I'm not saying I can help every single one of them, but I can help this situation. It's run away now. It's nuts. Do you know, Bennett, that in the last 7 months or 8 months, 34 NFL players have been arrested?
Wow. And that's it. And it just sounds like it's planting seeds and keeping them aware of situations before they happen when they can't control it and things aggression gets out of hand.
Exactly. And someone said to me, punishment, financial punishment will help them alone. It's not happening. It's you edge a guy on, you edge him on, and it's going to be a battle. It's going to be a fight, and that player is going to be in trouble because that's exactly what the girl wants, to get the guy into trouble. Because if he's going to leave her, she wants to get him in big, big trouble. So I want to, when someone says, the punishment, financial punishment alone will take care of it. Well, it will help, of course, because Goodell has come down and he said, if there's 2 incidents now of battery and domestic violence, you're out of the league. Well, what a horrible thing that is for the team, for the players, for the agent, for the coach to have to, you know what it takes to make a professional team. No one knows more than you. And if you're so good, you make a professional team, and then with all the injuries that they have, now they've got to lose players because of domestic violence. I can help.
Sounds like there is a need for preemptive education for this aspect, just because, like you said, and what was it, 34 players in the last 14 months?
8 months.
1 every week or something like that?
That's right. And someone's getting arrested. Marijuana, drugs, fights, beatings. And you know what? If someone is hell-bent on being on drugs, there's not a lot I can do for that, but I can help, especially like this time of year when the players made their team and they're going to make their first paychecks. Boy, can I help teams right now by talking to their players, talking sense into their players. And one of the things I'll say is don't go to bars. Don't go to strip joints. Don't think that that's where your joy is going to come from, because you might be ruining your whole life by making a simple choice of going to a club or a bar to have your fun.
Nice, good point. Well, let me ask you this: what would you like some of your viewers, that are watching this show, and this is obviously going to be on YouTube, and what would you like them to be able to say, who can use this? Do you have a friend? Do you know someone? How would you have someone who watches this? What would you have them do if they knew somebody that was in this situation to be able to reach out to you for the relationship training?
I would like everybody to send a copy of this interview to anybody they know on a professional team. They could be a coach, they could be a manager, they could be a ball boy, they could be the accountant, it doesn't matter. They could be a player. Send this video to people that you know and say that there's somebody like me. I'm not the only one in the whole world, but I know that I can help players because of all that I've studied. And I've been around, sports and players most of my life. And I've been in the entertainment industry, so I'm not going to be, afraid or, oh my God, he's an athlete. It's not going to be that way at all. I'm going to tell it like it is. And these guys who've been coached their whole lives on every aspect of sports, they are lost right now in their personal lives. They need an off-the-field coach and trainer, and that's me. I want to be able to talk to as many teams as I can talk to. I want to be able to work for coaches. I want to be able to work for agents So if you know people like that, you're watching this, you're listening to this interview, get the word out. Forward this interview out to anybody that you know, a player. I'll work one-on-one with players. We can work over Skype. I don't have to sit with them. I don't have to even be in the same town or even the same country with them. I can work with guys in Israel. I can work with guys in Poland because there's something called Skype, and it's just like this. It's a video. We can talk about it. It's like sitting next to each other, and I can help an awful lot of people.
Awesome. Well, let me ask this. How would they get in contact with you?
Well, thank you for asking. They can go to my bodytraders.com website, and one email is info@bodytraders.com. They can also go to my Love Coach. They can send me an email at lovecoach, L-U-V, coach@AOL.com. The first Love Coach, no numbers or letters after Love Coach @AOL.com. Drop me a line. Let me know what's bothering you. Let me know that you're having a tough time, and I would love to work with you. I would even, sit with you for the first 10 or 15 minutes, no charge. Let them get to know me. Let the players get to know me. Let them know that I'm serious. I've dedicated the rest of my life to helping players not ruin their careers, not ruin their lives. You only get one choice, player. You only get one choice. And if you're not in the top ring and you make a mistake like this, you're going to pay the rest of your life. Let me help you. Let me help you prevent it. Let me help you from ruining the great chance that you have to play sports for a living, to entertain in front of millions of people. Let me help you focus on the field. Be the most productive that you can be. And how could you be more productive? When your mind isn't on chasing crazy women, when your mind isn't on chasing wildcats that really are making you crazy. Let me help you focus on the field and off the field. Let me make you the most productive athlete possible. And I can do that. I can help you with that.
That's powerful stuff. I like how you phrase wildcats since I played at University of Arizona. Well, and obviously with basketball and relationships, and that's like you said. I was talking to you about this earlier this week. I was saying, relationships. It's also referees, coaches. There's a very big perspective on a big gamut or a large gamut of people that you could be able to use this stuff and apply it to other situations in your life. Obviously, with EuroHoopLife.com, EuroHoopLife.com, we're going to be working together and being able to have a couple more discussions about maybe a little bit more detailed. Obviously, this is just an introduction, but we're going to delve more into this and have other interviews. So please, anybody watching this, hope you got a lot of positive feedback. And with Bennet Davison and Bruce Starr sitting here chatting.
This was great, Bennet, and I want you and everybody else to know that I see myself as a communication trainer, and you're absolutely right. If I can help a player communicate better with his coaches, he's going to get more playing time.
Yeah.
I can help him with the owner. The owner's going to want to keep him around. If I can help him with the referees, like you said the other day, some of those referees are in for you, and they're not quite as controlled as they are in the NBA. They're going to call fouls and penalties on you. You're going to be out of ball games. And when you're out of ball games, you're not scoring points, and you're not building up your ability to demand more money. I'll teach you how to get along with your family better, your friends better. I'll keep your ego down in order, and I'll build up your self-esteem and your self-confidence. So not only will you have everything that you already have, but you'll have everything and love. And who wouldn't want everything and love?
Awesome. It's powerful stuff. Thank you, Bruce, for sharing your time with us. And any other last words?
Great, Bennet. I want to thank EHL, European Hoop Life, and I'm honored that you're asking me to come on board to be a coach and trainer and consultant and productivity advisor for all the folks that you work with. Looking forward to meeting them, looking forward to doing some seminars, some conferences with the players. so that I can help them and prevent them from making some huge mistakes in their lives. So thank you so much for having me on the show. This was great, and I look forward to getting to know, what you're doing and all the guys that you're working with more and more.
Awesome. Looking forward to it. Thank you.
Okay, Bennett. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.